Hi, this is Miss Doherty, and I'm here to show you how to create a note card in NoodleTools. And I'm here looking at my source page, and I actually already have it open, but I just want to show you, in case you're not aware of this, a quick way to get to your articles through your source page. So here's a database I created the citation for already, and you definitely want to create note cards after you create the citation. I'm going to go ahead and click View Live Web Page here. And that'll take me to my article. And here's my article. And you want to definitely read these and then decide what you want to take notes on. But I've already read this one, and I decided I definitely wanted to take a note from this paragraph here. My example topic is about banning assault weapons and high capacity magazines. And this particular paragraph is about how these sorts of guns have been used in many high profile shootings, and it gives some examples of some of the different shootings that they've been used in. So I thought this would be a good fact to support my thesis and idea that these guns should be banned. So I've gone ahead and highlighted the paragraph that I want to take notes from. And when you take notes, you want to just take notes on one example, one fact, one detail. You don't want to have too many different kinds of notes in one note card. So really keep focused with your notes. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. So I've highlighted it and I'm copying it. And then I'm going to go back to my NoodleTools screen. And here is the source, this particular source that I'm using. And underneath, you'll see over here, you'll see note cards. I have a bunch of different sources here. You want to make sure you go to the right one. I know it was this article here, Critics Target High Round Gun Magazines. Just click New under Note Cards. And then the note card will pop up. And the note cards all look like this when you first open them. I'm going to start with the notes section, then I'll explain the sections around it afterwards. The source is already in here. It's important that you have the source connected to your note card, because later on when you write your paper, you're going to need to identify where your notes came from, which source you got them from in the paper itself. So it's really important that you make sure you have your source connected to your note cards every time. So these three boxes are all for different purposes, and you want to make sure you put ideas in the right one. When you copy something, you want to put it in this box where it says copy, paste, and annotate here. You want to capture the author's words and images exactly. So that's why copying, if you would, from a book, you'd want to type exactly what it said. Get quotes and attribution right. So that way you'll know you don't make a mistake. If you're quoting exactly, you'll have it exactly right. You have it in here. You can mark up the quote by coloring and highlighting the text as well. There's some tools here to help you to annotate. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that, and I'm going to use, because I'm on a Mac, Command V, Apple V, and I am going to put this in quotation marks just so I don't get confused later on when I'm looking at my notes in another format. So go ahead and put those in quotation marks. Now over here, I'm going to explain these other boxes, and I'm going to come back and show you how to use some of the tools. Over here, so this is for direct quotation, and you see it says direct quotation right there. So that's what I put in this box. This box is for paraphrase or summary. So this is to put in your own words the main ideas from a quotation. Or a summary. You might not use this quotation box. You might have a longer article and you just want to write a summary in your own words in this box. That's another option. There is a limit as to how many words and characters you can put in these boxes. You can't put too much in them. And then under here, my ideas, that's your original thinking. That's going to be, how does this fit in with what you know? It could be your opinion about the things you just took notes on. I clicked on it, so the directions went away, unfortunately. But and also you could put questions or things you want to look up, ideas that give you of things that you need to continue to research that are related to this. So I'm going to go ahead and fill all these in and explain more about it as I go through them. But this is my ideas, paraphrase, a summary, and back to direct quotation. The tools you'll probably use the most in here will be highlighting and maybe underlining, or changing. You could change the font color if you wanted to, but those are kind of some of the most useful things. You might bold things. But what I want to do here is I'm going to go ahead and highlight. I'm going to read the quote and highlight the most important keywords, mainly nouns and verbs. I don't want to have any adjectives. I don't want to have a lot of detail in my highlighting and my annotating. So high-capacity magazines have been used in virtually every high-profile shooting in recent history. I'm going to stop right there. So high-capacity magazines, that's important. That's a key concept. This is to highlight. You see the letter surrounded by background color. That's for highlighting. This is to change the color of the font, okay? So I'm going to use highlight. You can use all kinds of different colors. I'm just going to use yellow. But if you wanted to, maybe you wanted to color code, you can do that. I'm not going to demonstrate that, but you can certainly color code different kinds of notes if you wanted to. So high capacity magazines have been used in virtually every high profile shooting in recent history. I'm actually going to leave out recent history. I am going to say high profile shooting because that's an important concept, okay? So virtually every recent history. This was written in 2012, so that's 5 years old now, so I'm not going to worry about the recent history on that right now. I know it was written in 2012 because, and we'll look at the citation in the source in a minute, and I'll explain how I saw that. But so high capacity magazines, high profile shooting, real important. These are the examples. Columbine High School in 1999. I'm going to highlight all that because I definitely want that for my my notes. Virginia Tech in 2007. These are very famous shootings, mass shootings. And then last year's attack outside a Tucson area supermarket. I'm not going to highlight last year's attack. I'll have to look that up and add that to my paraphrasing. I'm going to go ahead and put that there. And then 6 people were killed. That's important. 6 people were killed and 13 injured. Okay, now including Representative Gabriel Giffords. Well, I might or might not. If that's not someone you know who it is and you don't think you're going to put it in your paper, you can just leave that out. If you think you want to put it in and maybe look that person up because you figure they're important, you could highlight that. And you can always decide later on. You don't have to use all your notes in your paper. You might take some notes that you don't end up using. So now in your own words over here, explain it to yourself in words you understand. Look back at the quote. Did you get it all? Did you get the most important ideas you wanted? You don't need everything, but what are the most important ideas? So high capacity magazines, high profile shootings. So I'm going to use bullet points. I'm not going to write sentences. I'm just going to write phrases. So right here under 1, 2, there's a little arrow next to that. You click that and you'll get insert remove bulleted list. So that's what I want to do here. So high capacity magazines, high profile shootings. High capacity. And you can use some exact words because that's a key term I'll be using in my paper a lot. So that's okay. High capacity magazines, high profile shootings. High profile means that they're well publicized, right? They're well known, okay? High capacity magazines, well known. I'm going to do that. Well known shootings, okay? And that's enough. That's all I need there. And then I'm going to actually indent my examples. So right here I can indent further, increase indent by clicking that. And now I have my examples underneath. These are my examples. Columbine. If you know it's Columbine High School, you don't need to write that. You could just write Columbine 1999. You can write the high school if you want. That's up to you, as long as you know what it means. Virginia Tech, 2007. I do want that. Virginia Tech, 2007. Tucson supermarket. I'm going to put area because it's not Tucson. I could say Tucson area. Supermarket's okay. It's a common enough word. You don't have to change every single word. You just want to make sure you're not copying paragraphs and sentences and long phrases. Tucson area supermarket. I'm going to go ahead and increase that indent again. So 6 killed. And again, I'm not even going to have 6 people were killed, just 6 killed, 13 injured. Now I have just my nouns. My nouns, I did need these adjectives, the numbers, but really just most of these just nouns. I do have well-known shootings. What kind of shootings? Well-known shootings. That seems important. But from all that, I just have these bulleted words and phrases, okay? And then under my ideas, I might think, okay, well, this was from 2012. There've been some other ones since then. So here I could put a question, what other well-known shootings used, and I'm going to actually start to abbreviate high capacity magazines. Okay. I might have a question. Who is, maybe I want to look that up. And as I do that, maybe I'll say Gabriel Giffords here. Again, I don't have to use that later on. So your note card is a work in progress. You can be going back and forth from one box to another. Now, this all needs to be filled in as well. You have to give each note card a title. This one is going to be examples of well-known shootings using high-capacity magazines, okay? And again, these notes are yours. HCM is fine. I'll know what that means if I use it consistently. Here's my source. It's already connected to my source. When you click this, you'll get all your sources will show up right here. Since we went through the source page, you know it's the right one. It'll automatically link to it for you here. If you were using a book, a magazine in print, or a newspaper in print, or anything in print, you would put the page number here. Since this was online, we don't need a page number. And then you could tag this. Now, in my controlling ideas, I thought that assault weapons should be banned because they're oftentimes used in mass killing. So I'm going to go ahead and tag that with this. And when you tag it, I don't have any tag. I do have killings in mass right here. So actually, I want to put this together as in quotation marks so these stay as one tag. All right. And so now I have that. These were from earlier. I didn't put them in quotation marks. Okay. Now it's saving that. So save and close. And I didn't have any note cards there before. Now I have one. And I do remember now I needed to look at the date. It said last year, the shooting last year at the supermarket. This was written in 2012. So now I can go back and add 2011, because if it was last year, that would have been a year before this was written. So it would have been 2011. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Options, Edit. So you can go back in and add to your note cards if you want to. Oh, I did that to the citation by mistake. I'm sorry. Let me go back to my source again. I'm going to just cancel that. And then I will go, here it is. It actually showed up right here below the source. That's the one I just did. I can edit it from here, go to Options, Edit, and then I can add, that was 2011. Okay, so 2011. And then save and close. And the last thing, now I can hide that if I don't want to see that there, I can hide it. So you can actually see all your note cards from your source page. Right now I have a bunch from other sources as well, so I can show, hide. If I go look at show, you can see all your note cards right there on the page with these sources, so you can kind of get an overview of all your work. I'm going to now show you one last thing. I'm going to hide these. Hide note cards, and then if you for some reason want to go through the note card page instead of going through the source page to create your note cards, you can definitely do that as well. And I'm going to click New, and then in that case you'd go here and you'd select your source from the drop down menu. We were just using this one. You'd want to make sure you pick the right one. And you definitely want to have your source done before you do the note cards. The worst thing is to do a whole bunch of note cards and not have the sources in. Later on, you won't remember necessarily which note you took from which source, which is going to cause you a problem when you go to write your paper. So that is, in a nutshell, how you do a note card in NoodleTools. Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions.